One of the most fun things in Marvel Snap is making some strong decks with these powerful combos, but other times it's just best to play your good cards, take the guesswork out of it, and get that tempo and squeeze out a win, and that is what we're doing with this deck in this video. So if you're ready to see how this deck works and how it can help you climb up to infinite, then you know what to do. Find that like button, and let's go snap it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Marvel Snap fans. Welcome back to the Valley Snap channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're talking all about this good cards deck, a deck that I found over on MarvelSnapZone.com. It's been in their meta report for a while, and I just wanted to test this deck out, and it's been working very well. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that deck, see how to pilot this deck with some fun gameplay as well. But if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Snap content. We got deck gameplay videos, tips, news, everything to help your Marvel Snap experience. And there's at least 5 Marvel Snap videos per week on this channel. Let's go ahead and take a look at this deck though. And it features some good cards that give us a lot of tempo. And like I said, this has been in the meta for a little bit on the Snap Zone. And I just started playing this. It looks similar to a lot of the other decks we have, featuring Leech, Leader, and then some control with Magneto and Arrow. Now, the good thing about this deck, it is a very budget-friendly deck. There are some pool 3 cards in here right now, but there's no pool 4 or pool 5 cards. So if you are a player that's in pool 3, you eventually should get all these cards and then not have to wait for that gamble of getting a pool 4 or 5 card. So it starts off with Sunspot. Ideally, if we get Sunspot off on turn 1, he's going to get any energy that we aren't spending. And a lot of times we're skipping a few turns in this deck because we have a lot of high cost cards. So Sunspot, if we get him on turn 1, be very good. If we don't, no big deal. Armor is there to protect our Sunspot and protect from some bad locations. Currently in the game, the featured location is that rickety bridge, which destroys cards if we have more than 1 card there. So armor is in a lot of these decks that I'm using nowadays, especially with all these destroyed locations. Lizard is a great tempo card, but it does have the downside of -3 power if your opponent does manage to put 4 cards there though. But 5 power on a 2 cost is pretty good. Another great card that we need because of all these on-reveal abilities is Cosmo, stopping these Wong combos. Now, again, this is a card that you probably want to play a little later. You don't want to play this and try to guess. You want your opponent to make the first move and then to counter that. Or what you could do if you know what they're going to play because they're kind of obvious in their play style, you could Cosmo in the lane you think you're going to play. But yeah, we need Cosmo to counter some of their ongoing, their on-reveal abilities. And this is great if you play Cosmo and then can play a card like Maximus there, which has a negative on-reveal ability. Having your opponent draw 2 cards does have a lot of power for that 3 cost though. So great tempo for Maximus. And Thor, the card that we skipped over, is one of my favorite cards. This is a card that I pulled really late in pull 3. And the great thing about this is that if you draw that Mjolnir, this is essentially going to turn into a 3/10 card. Draw and pull and play that Mjolnir. It's going to turn into a 3/10 card, but it's going to shuffle that Mjolnir into your deck, and you need to be lucky enough to draw that Mjolnir to get that full potential of Thor. But a lot of times your opponents forget that Thor can get a higher power. So a lot of times they'll leave that lane alone, and you can go back and sneak that win out with that Mjolnir when you draw that. Shang-Chi is a great counter card. We don't have a lot of high powered play here. So if our opponent has a real strong deck, like maybe something with a Destroyer or a Red Skull or something that's followed by a Shuri, we could destroy that and mitigate this. Again, this is something that you want to play real late. You don't want to play this real early. This has real bad tempo, but has the great effect of destroying enemy cards that have +9 power. We also have White Queen in this. It's a decent tempo card with 4/6, and what you're going to get is the highest cost card in your opponent's hand. So you're going to get some intel, and you're going to get one of their best cards in the cost ratio. So the White Queen is a card that I'd love to have in a lot of my decks, but yes, she's in this deck. Leech is a mean card. Now, we're not ramping this. I like to feature Leech in a ramp deck with either Electro or Psylocke to get him out on turn 4, but we don't have any ramp here, so we're playing this on turn 5. The downside of Leech is a lot of times when you play Leech on turn 5, it ruins all of your opponent's combos and they will snap. So sometimes it's best to, if you know what's going to happen, if you're confident in your hand and you have the good cards in your hand, well, you could play Leech snap before you play Leech. If you're not sure, you could just play Leech and take that 1 cube that you're going to get from the opponents. But Leech is a very debilitating card for the opponents, removing all abilities from all cards your opponents has. Now, this could come back to bite you if they have a card like Destroyer or they have a card like Infinite or something that will allow them to play. So you got to make sure that they're not running one of those decks. And it really does nothing in a Patriot deck unless they don't have their Patriot out by turn 5. So this could be a little risk. You got to make sure that you're going against the right deck to make the most of this card. But Leech could be very, very tricky. Arrow is another card that we make use of, and it's going to move all enemy cards played to this location. It's a 5/7, did just get that nerf, was a 5/8 previously, but it's still a very good card, not just because of the tempo that she provides. 5/7 is a decent amount of tempo, not an excellent tempo, but decent amount of tempo. But mainly you're playing here for that location control, moving the cards on that turn to that single location that you play that arrow at. We also have Leader, one of the meanest, dirtiest cards in the game. If you are at least controlling 2 locations, Leader's a great card to play on turn 6, because whatever your opponent does, unless there's certain situations that they have like a Taskmaster that they've been doubling cards up, well, yeah, there's certain situations Leader doesn't work. But in a lot of these situations, usually if you're winning at least 2 locations, you could play Leader and you should get the win. Not always. You got to be aware of what they're doing. Certain combos also won't work, like a Silver Surfer. If they have a bunch of 3-cost cards on their side and you don't, well, copying their Silver Surfer won't do a lot for you and will do a lot for them. So got to be careful. You got to identify what deck the opponent is running before you play that Leader, but usually it is a dirty, sneaky win. And last but not least in this deck is Magneto, giving you some location control, moving 3 and 4 cost cards to this location. You got a big 12 power play. And sometimes this is actually a downside. Sometimes you're moving cards that have a lot of power there. So you got to be careful with this. Let's go take this deck into action and see how this deck works. Swapping cards with Oscorp Tower. We don't want to be playing cards at Oscorp Tower. Nothing to play yet on turn 1. What gets destroyed? Our arrow gets destroyed, which is unfortunate for us. Look at some big cards out there that we could Shang-Chi at the end. All right, so we still have these big cards in our hand. Nothing to play on turn 2. Thor is going to be our location. We're going to get one of their squirrels from that Oscorp Tower, which gives us 1 point. All right, cards are going to cost 1 more on turn 5. Let's go with Thor on the far left location. Green Dimension. Means Leech is going to cost a little bit more. They're destroying that. They're trying to destroy the squirrel, so possibly could be running a Killmonger or like a Death Wave type deck. There's our Mjolnir. That's what we want. Let's get some intel from them. And we could potentially go White Queen. And let's see what we get. Let's see if we got identified their deck. We may be pulling a Taskmaster. All right, so I think if they wanted to do a Venom Taskmaster type situation there, we could play a... Where are they going to go? Are they going to far left or far right? They've already have the Killmonger there. I think what we want to do, we're going to guess here. All right, it's a 50-50 shot. I don't think they're going to play on Rickety Bridge. I think what we want to do is Oscorp Tower. Actually, we already have the lead there. Let's go Cosmo there. We could go Leader on turn 6, followed by Mjolnir. That'll give us a lead on Dream Dimension. What do they do there? We go Cosmo, they go Shang-Chi, destroying, try to destroy what we have. All right. We do have the option to Leader if we play this there. And if we play Mjolnir on Rickety Bridge, that will give us a lead on the left and matching. So I think we're in good shape right now. As far as points before they play any cards, they could be running a bunch of cards to Oscorp Tower, which is not good. Actually, we could... Let's take back that leader play. Let's take back all this stuff. We go leader here. We can go Mjolnir here. That will destroy both of these. And that'll give us a little more space on Oscorp Tower to match what they could potentially do there. And that will match what they do there. We will get the lead here. We already have the lead there. Let's see what they play if they could make this work. There, that card in the middle will get destroyed. They get a Nova that's getting destroyed. And we match their death. We get more points when our Nova's destroyed, and we get the win. We match what they do. Leader, we do the dirty, nasty leader play, and we come out with the victory. All right, we have Leech, we have Leader, we have Arrow, and Rickety Bridge is the location at the far left. Nothing that we could play for the first few turns here. We may not be able to generate enough power on this. All right, so there is trying to add a rock to the losing player. Nothing that we could play on turn 2. Maxim is a great play for a tourney range to give them a rock. Let's see what they do. They're going to go with the Rickety Bridge. They're going to destroy that Deadpool. They're going to destroy their Okoye, but they have power in their hands, and Deadpool is now back in their hand at double the power. I think what we want to do is give them, oh, this is more than worth it for this Maximus. A 3/9, even if they're drawing a few cards. It's great. And we have a stronger leader. We have a stronger Leech, a stronger Magneto, and a stronger Arrow. All of our big cards got a little bit stronger with that +2 power. But they go Deadpool again. They go Carnage again. They destroy the Deadpool. You leave the Carnage there. And where are they going to go with this? Turn 4. Nothing to play with Shang-Chi. We could sacrifice our Sunspot. Or we could just play it here. A 4-cost power. They probably have Killmonger in their hand. So do we want to go and try to destroy that Carnage, or do we want the points? I think we want to destroy their Carnage there. And then potentially Leech on turn 5. And depending what they do, or pulling the cards there. All right, so they are trying to destroy that card there. So it was a waste to do that. They put a lot of cards on that location. All of them are destroyed. A lot of them get extra power. They got a strong Deadpool. Very, very strong Deadpool. We're going to have to guess where they put that. And luckily we have that leader. So I think we have a good opportunity for leader. Let's put Arrow here because they have 2 cards there. Let's try to load up that location with them and keep our board as open as possible. The potential big Deadpool that they're running. I think we have to do leader at this point. I'm not going to be able to match the power otherwise. Wherever they put that Deadpool, we'll have to match it. All right, Arrow will pull cards to this middle location, and hopefully this 18 power in the middle is going to be enough to win that location. And then we could play our leader on the far right. I think that's what our winning strategy is. Not confident enough to snap in it yet, although should be good. Depending what else they have. That Deadpool will only cost 1. They do have a bunch of kills, destroys. Do they have a death that they could potentially play? We're going to draw as much as we can to that location there. All right, so there's their Deadpool. There's their Deathlock, destroying everything. I don't think they wanted that. Oh my goodness, that is a huge, huge play there.
Opponent snapped.
I think they're going to try to win this middle location. So what we could do is destroy their deck, their death, and their armor. They win the middle, we destroy their death. They have the tempos. So if they play Shang-Chi, if they play their Deadpool here, we win. If they play Deadpool here, they're going to try to win that Wakandan embassy. This may not be a great snap, but I want to see what they do. I'm kind of curious what is in their hand. Did they double their death and get more death out? It could also have a She-Hulk coming up as well. Really would like the leader, but yeah, because we don't have the tempo, might not be great. I think this wins it though. All right, so there's their Deadpool. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, so we'll get the right. We get that +2 power squirrel. They destroy their Deadpool, 72 power. Good thing this is not a 4-turn game, about a 7-turn game. All right, we get a victory there. All right, we have Shang-Chi, we have Thor, we have Leech. Only one card for each player. That not great for us. Hopefully they play something early. We can see what they do and then identify what they're trying to do. Throne room card with the highest card will have their power doubled. Nothing to play yet. No plays on turn 1. Trying to get as much power out as possible. I think Maximus is going to be our next play. Or Thor to try to get that Mjolnir in there. All right. Maximus is not as appealing. 3/6 and having them draw cards. After turn 3, add a rock to the losing side. Let's go here and hopefully they forego whatever's happening at Eternity range. Or we can do here. We could go Maximus and give them a rock. What gets the higher cost card? All right, so Leech is out of the equation. They get the rock. They also get 2 cards though. Was that worth the trade-off? What we'll do now is we'll play Thor there, hope for the Mjolnir. Not a great card. We don't get Mjolnir. Very low tempo card. But we don't have a lot of the other cards that we want. We don't have that White Queen in hand yet. Turn 5, there's no obvious turn 5 play right now. We can play multiple cards like a Cosmo, 1 lane, and Lizard in a different lane. Do we want to? I think Cosmo could go in the middle if we are going to run that Cosmo section. And then what we could do is pull someone over with Magneto on that space throne. They don't have that there. They play their Thor, we play our Thor. Who is going to get their Mjolnir? All right, so our power is doubled because of the throne room. We get our Mjolnir right away, which is great. I think what we want to do, they're probably going to go throne room. So I'm going to go with Cosmo there. And let's go with Lizard here. Not a great play. This could actually turn into a 2/2 card because it's almost full. I don't think I want to load up that ability though. So great that we have our Mjolnir. So I think what we can do, actually I should have went that into throne room. We could play, yeah, that was a mistake. I should have played Lizard in the middle, Magneto on the space throne, and Mjolnir. That would guarantee the throne room. We're just distributing our power a little too much right now. Or we could just forego the throne room. Play Magneto on in the middle. All right, there you go there, Jane Foster. We know that they have their Thor. Gonna be a high-powered Thor. Do we want to go with this right now? We will win the space throne. The question is, and I think they have their play there. We're gonna go here. I'm not gonna do our Cosmo. I think we win the middle. I think this is a win. This is what they play there. They have their Mjolnir. What else could they be running? Potentially a big play. All right, they retreat. They had their Mjolnir. All right, so that is this good cards deck, guys. It's all about creating that early tempo and keeping that tempo. Once you learn this deck, it's very simple deck to pilot. It's very straightforward. So hopefully you enjoy this deck. Hopefully it works for you. Check out some of my other videos on the channel if you want to support the channel. We got some good sponsors down below. BlueStacks is my emulator of choice. We got some great merch on the TeePublic site, and one of my favorite sites is the Amazon coins. So any app you're using on the Amazon App Store, you can save up to 20% on your purchases if you go through the Amazon App Store. Unfortunately, Marvel Snap is not on the Amazon App Store, but there's a lot of other games on there that you may be playing. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of this good cards deck. I will see you next time. Make sure you give me that Hulk fist bump before you leave. Here we go, Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out. Have a great rest of your day, guys.